What's up, and welcome back to All Language Resources. Today's time to review. I'm really glad that we're reviewing this app because I think it's a good one. It may not be as popular as Duolingo, for example, but it's still pretty well known. First big difference with Duolingo is that Babbel works as a subscription method, and do we think it's worth the price? Sure, but we'll get into that later. Right now it has 14 available languages, and the courses are quite long. As we usually do in this channel, this is a collaborative review made with Brian, our blogger, and Nick, the founder of All Language Resources. You can check their stuff in the description box. So, let's go into the details. I'm so pale. I look like a vampire. Babbel is an e-learning app created in 2007 and has a desktop and a mobile version. At the moment, it has over 1 million users and it's steadily growing. And as I said before, it uses a subscription-based method As I said before, it uses a subscription-based method, and these are the rates. It has beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels, but I wouldn't say you'll end up with an advanced level after completing the course. A high-end intermediate level seems more realistic, which is still pretty impressive. After that, it's up to you to keep improving. Apart from good and extensive vocabulary lessons, it covers grammar pretty good. It pinpoints the grammar rules and then gives you different exercises to practice them. Sorry about that, I cut my finger while cutting vegetables, but yeah, that's another story. The listening exercises are actually quite impressive in our opinion. The audio quality is pretty good and they do a good job at recreating different dialogues for everyday situations. Another thing we really enjoyed about Babbel is their lesson structures. They're pretty well designed, making the learning curve very gradual. This is a big positive for us since it can be very frustrating when you get stuck while learning a language. The lessons are generally entertaining. It can get a bit repetitive after a while, but I think that's pretty normal. In any case, the fact that they have different types of exercises makes it engaging without falling too much into monotony. One thing that definitely can be improved is their speech recognition. Don't get us wrong, the idea is great. It's a way of getting better with your own pronunciation, but sometimes the program doesn't detect the word that you're trying to say, and it can get very frustrating. Anyhow, let's log in so I can show you how the app works. So, this is the homepage. My name is actually not Nick, it's Matt, but Nick, who's the founder of All Language Resources, paid for this, so thank you, Nick. And yeah, as you can see, it's pretty self-explanatory. The design is very simple. And you have a little calendar here, then you have the review section up there, your level, then here you have like languages, and yeah, let's just jump into it. So here lets you choose if you want to use the speech recognition or without the speech recognition. I personally prefer writing it. I guess it's easier to remember for me, and as we said before, the speech recognition is not super good, but...
Excusez-moi, monsieur. Je cherche la fontaine Saint-Michel. C'est entre le musée et la cathédrale. C'est derrière la Seine.
So here you have 4 examples, and it's we're doing the French version, so it's in French and then in English. So yeah, let's just press continue. Alright, now you have to put each option with a French phrase. So, for example, je cherche la fontaine Saint-Michel. I'm looking for the Saint-Michel fountain. So you just click on the option.
Je cherche la fontaine Saint-Michel.
And there you go. C'est entre le musée et la cathédrale. It's between the museum and the cathedral. Then also the picture makes it easier.
C'est entre le musée et la cathédrale.
C'est derrière la Seine. It's on the other side of the Seine, or behind. Derrière, it's behind, but yeah.
C'est derrière la Seine.
And then, excusez-moi, monsieur. Excuse me, sir.
Excusez-moi, monsieur.
So this is pretty easy. And let's just continue. Oh, now it's when we write. And then, as I was telling you, you can also do like the speech recognition one that you'll just have to talk, but yeah, this way it forces you to write, which I think it's excellent. So yeah, let's go for it.
Excusez-moi, monsieur.
Je cherche la fontaine Saint-Michel.
Je cherche la fontaine Saint-Michel.
C'est entre le musée et la cathédrale.
C'est entre le musée et la cathédrale.
C'est derrière I generally put the accent, but if you don't put it, it still works. So yeah. Oh, this is a listening exercise. This is one of the strengths of this app, so yeah, let's just check it out. It's very interesting because it uses the words that you just learned in the choose the option lesson. So
Excusez-moi, monsieur?
Oui,
je cherche la fontaine Saint-Michel. I'm looking for the Saint-Michel fountain.
Je cherche la fontaine Saint-Michel.
D'après mon plan, c'est dans le quartier latin sur une place derrière la Seine. According to my map, it's in the Latin Quarter in a square on the other side of the Seine, or behind the Seine. So, derrière la Seine.
D'après mon plan, c'est dans le quartier latin, sur une place derrière la Seine.
tout à fait.
Mais je ne la vois pas.
C'est bien entre le musée d'Orsay et la cathédrale.
C'est bien entre le musée d'Orsay et la cathédrale Notre-Dame.
Oui, c'est ça.
Alors,
And this is, again, derrière.
Alors regardez, elle est juste derrière vous, madame.
oh mon Dieu, elle est monumentale.
So yeah, it's pretty easy, but I don't know, it's a good lesson, it's a good exercise to make it stick in your head. Oh, so now it's just time for a recap from the words you just learned. So yeah, let's just do it really fast. Je suis sur le trottoir. Sous le pont. Sous un pont.
Je suis sur le trottoir sous un pont.
So that was pretty much it. As you can see, it's very easy to use, and we didn't have as much grammar as in other exercises, but there's a bit of everything. And the fact that there's so many listening exercises, it makes it very useful when, in the case you have to go to France and you have to use the language in a day-to-day situation. So with this, you'll be prepared for that. So yeah, as you can see, it's pretty easy to use, it's very intuitive. So let's just jump into the pros and cons. Let's just start with the pros. First of all, it's very easy to use. Sometimes it takes a little while to learn how to use a new app, but that doesn't happen with Babbel because it's very easy and intuitive. The lessons are short. We love that the lessons don't take too much time. Makes it easier to organize your course, and you can always fit an extra lesson whenever you have time to kill. This helps a lot to remember the vocabulary or the grammar rules. There will always be exercises to apply what you just learned. It also covers many areas. You know, there's a bit of everything. There's a bit of vocabulary, grammar, listening, writing, reading. So I mean, there's always something new to do. The conversation lessons are very good. As I said before, Babbel stands out for their conversational exercises. The audio quality is great, and they have different dialogues for different situations, which is very useful. Oh, and then this is a pro for me, and is the fact that you can always access the review exercises. Once you've finished the course and stop your subscription, you can always get into the app and do the review exercises, which I don't know, it's always good to jog your memory. I never know what to do with my hands. It's kind of uncomfortable. I don't know how I can be more persuasive, but yeah, sorry. And now let's jump into the cons. First is that they don't have enough pronunciation support. I mean, they have a couple of lessons, I guess, but you basically have to work it out with your hearing. And then, as we said before, the speech recognition program doesn't always detect what you're saying, and yeah, it can get a bit weird, but I guess that can be improved. Then another thing is that the review exercises are not very thorough. I mean, it works perfectly for vocabulary, but it doesn't have much grammar support. So you'll have your grammar exercises, but sometimes you need the explanation to jog your memory a bit. And the third negative that we found is that it can get a bit monotonous, but I think that's something that happens with almost every single language learning app. And in a way, it's up to you to keep on going. And the thing is that with Babbel, at least it has different types of exercises and there's a bit of variation. So that was it for Babbel. It's a useful platform, and as far as we know, they're still improving their app every now and then. I guess it's a good sign. They're adapting to the times or whatever, but it speaks very well of them. As always, if you need any extra information, it may be in the description box, and if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe. See you soon, à la prochaine!